Welcome back to Cooking Stuff with Starla. Today we're going to make a jerk puff pastry. We've got puff pastry, ground turkey, Italian seasoning herbs, a cheese blend, some cabbage, boiled peeled potatoes, a garlic salt blend, egg, carrots, mushroom, celery, onion, green chilies, jerk seasoning, and some lemons. And then we also have a little bit of olive oil there. Add your olive oil to your pan, and we are simply going to start sauteing all of our veggies here, getting everything nice and translucent. I start with the onions just because those can withstand a lot of cooking, and then just follow up with everything after. As well as all of your veggies going in the pan, you also want to make sure you season at every step of the way, including this first step. Once you add those veggies in, we'll season this with our garlic blend as well as our jerk seasoning. My veggies are cooking down, and I'm just going to season that a bit more. We are now going to go ahead and add our ground turkey to the pan. Go ahead and break that up, and we're just going to cook it through until it's all the way brown. Every time I add an ingredient to my pan, I adjust my seasonings accordingly. So I'm just adding a little bit more of our jerk seasoning as well as our garlic salt blend. As that ground turkey is cooking down, I'm just going to squeeze my lemon right over that ground turkey. The turkey is cooked down and perfect, and our veggies are nice and tender. This is what we're looking for. Once that turkey is cooked perfectly, you are going to go ahead and take those boiled peeled potatoes that we have and mash them into your ground beef. Now notice that they're not super soupy or super mashy, because that's the consistency that I was looking for. You still want them to be a little pieces and chunks in there to mix throughout that ground beef. So we are letting that meat mixture cool right now, and while that cools just a little bit, we are going to make our egg wash. That was 1 egg, and that was a teaspoon of water that I just added to the egg. We're just looking for a consistency to seal our puff pastries with. Right here, I've separated some of my pastry dough sheets, and I've got about 5 to 6 sheets per stack that I'd like to use for each of my puff pastries. I'm just adding my cooled ground turkey jerk mix onto my puff pastry, and mine came out very large, very filling. This is about 3/4 of a cup of mixture here, and then I'm just gonna fold that puff pastry right over. So after you have folded that puff pastry over, we are simply going to seal our edges with this milk wash that we just previously made. And if you pay attention to how I'm doing mine, I'm simply just folding it over because this puff pastry that I use was simply just not that pliable. A good one, you won't have to struggle as much, but I want to show this just to say that even if your puff pastry isn't as good as you like it, they still come out amazing and it'll work just as well. So if you see here, these are going to be my puff pastries that I am now finished with, and I'm just brushing with a little egg wash. I could not find my pastry brush, so I simply just used a napkin and dipped that in the egg wash. It works perfectly fine. You want to make sure that you coat all the surfaces with this egg wash, because that is how you accomplish your nice golden brown color when it comes to these. So be a little generous when you're doing your egg wash, and this is going to be our last step before we put it into the oven. These are puff pastries that have cooked in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes at 350 degrees. This is going to be our finished product, nice and golden brown. You can adjust your cooking time accordingly to your oven. Thank you so much for cooking stuff with Starla McGee today. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel, as well as my Instagram, Cooking Stuff with Starla McGee. I hope you enjoyed making these jerk puff pastries. Remember just to use what you have to recreate this recipe, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Cooking Stuff with Starla McGee.